Morning, and thank you for joining us and Juanito Learns. Right now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be exposing an API using no code except SQL. So we're going to be using a SQL database, Logic Apps, and APIM in order to expose functionality to an API. This is useful when you want to create, when you need to create something for a vendor or something for an external party that needs to connect to you via an API, but you don't know .NET or you don't know Java or any other programming language except SQL, and you want to have that, or you want to have the logic encapsulated in a SQL database because maybe the logic is better off instead of a SQL database. So what we're doing right now is that we are creating first our test database. I have a serverless database and I'm setting up here, and I'm just gonna click on networking here. Just gonna make sure it's no access because we're gonna just let Azure access it. Let's see, encrypted, and then security. We can add the add an entity to it. That should be fine. I'm gonna click on apply, and then let's see additional settings. I want to go back to networking because there should be okay. Yeah, no access from the internet. Later on, we're gonna change it so we can access it from some Azure resources. So we're gonna review and create. Okay, so it's gonna be creating that database, and while it's creating a database, we're gonna start creating our logic app. So I'm gonna just make a new tab here. And I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna go to my resource group here. I'm gonna create my resource group something called a logic app. A logic app is a no code or low code integration tool that allows you to integrate many things, including SQL. It's very similar to Power Automate. It's a more spice. You could think of it as the bigger cousin of Power Automate. It's like the it's definitely a more powerful tool. Let's see, and then we're just gonna name it Logic API test. It's gonna be a workflow, and the region we're gonna make it as close as possible. Here is where you can pick from standard consumption. Consumption is usually cheaper because it's on a consumption basis, and it's more of a serverless. Well, yeah, both are serverless, but the consumption allows you to have a better pricing, very much cheaper than the standard, which requires you to have an application service, an app service plan. So we're going to leave everything like that, everything the same, disable, and then create. So it's going to create a logic app. While we're waiting for that logic app, let's see if our database is done creating. It's almost there, right there. I should have created this beforehand, but it should not take that long either. So our database is almost done creating. And we can check the progress by clicking on operation details. Okay, our logic app is completed. While the database is being created, I'm gonna go ahead and also create an APIM. An APIM is an application gateway that's how you typically will expose APIs. So we're gonna create here, we're gonna click on create here, we're gonna search for APIM. There is a consumption-based product, a consumption-based product for APIM, API management, that allows you to pay only for what you consume. So that's perfect for our purposes here, for demonstration purposes. Okay, create. We want HTTPS, call it APIM, SQL. And it's your name. Okay, call it Juanito. Oops. Let me switch windows here. Sorry about that. Let me switch to my other window here, which is where I have my good account. I apologize for that. Let's switch back to my screen here. Let's see. Let's move this from one end to the other. Again, I apologize for that. We're gonna be waiting a little bit for that database to be created, so we'll be back.